it mentions a lot of times about the goal.
然之後有目標，
Firstly, we have the direction of the goal
然之後我哋有達標，
and the determination to reach the goal.
最嬲尾係超標。
And then lastly, the discipline required in attaining the goal.
英文咧有少少唔同，
There may be a slight difference in the English translation,
但係中文咧係可以咁樣翻嘅。
but then this is how the Chinese way is presented.
咁大家知道明年2020年有一個大事係咩事啊？大家
You would like to know that next year, 2020, a big event will take place. What is it?
奪標有關係嘅係咩事啊？
It is closely related to goal, attaining goal.
我哋喺香港咧叫做世運會，不過呢度反而都係叫做奧運會。
In Hong Kong, is the World Game here. It is understood to be Olympic Game.
4年一次嘅大事，
Happens every 4 years.
所以咧我哋個個都拭目以待啊！又有新嘅紀錄可以睇啦。
So we are all looking forward to it, and we may be having new records.
咁我哋睇呢段聖經，難免都會諗到呢個嘅所謂目標。
So when we read this passage, we may be led to think about goals.
就係我哋要向住呢個目標咧竭力嘅追求。
That is, we have to try our efforts, our best to attain the goal.
我哋要達成目標咧，一定要有做好多嘅準備。
To achieve this goal, of course, you have to do a lot of preparation.
我哋大家都知道啦。
It's all known to you.
但係聖經呢個個目標究竟係指乜嘢咧？
But in the Bible, when it is, what does goal mean?
佢呢處係保羅指嘅係一個方向。
Here, Paul means a direction.
呢個方向咧係咩方向咧？
What kind of direction?
大家淨係睇12節到16節係唔夠嘅。
It's not important to read only verses 12 to 16.
第3章整章咧，好似係保羅嘅一個嘅見證。
In fact, the whole chapter 3 is a testimony by Paul.
1到11節係講佢嘅過去，
Verses 1 to 11 talks about his past.
12到16節係講佢目前，
Verses 12 to 16 relates to his present.
17到21係講佢將來。
And 17 and the rest talks about his future.
所以保羅係一個好有方向感嘅宣教士。
So you would see that Paul has a keen sense of direction.
佢嘅目標究竟係乜嘢咧？
So let's look at what is his goal.
佢嘅過去嘅方向係以為去迫害基督徒就係替天行道啦。
In his past days, he thought that persecuting the church is executing divine orders.
就可以成就神嘅心意。
In doing so, he would be receiving the blessings from God.
直到主耶穌基督擁有咗佢，嚟到成為佢嘅門徒。
Until he was converted by Christ and became Christ's disciple.
所以主耶穌將佢呢個方向、呢個目標轉翻去一個正確嘅道路上。
So Christ turned him around and put him on the right path.
呢個道路就係認識主耶穌。
And the path is to know Christ.
咩叫奪標呢？
So what is attaining your goal?
奪標喺呢本書信裏邊嘅意思就係要認識主耶穌。
So here, when you say attaining goal, your goal is to know Christ.
所以你我嘅目標唔會係一樣。
So your goal, my goal, may be different.
但係喺聖經裏邊，我哋一齊要學習嘅就係、究竟保羅嘅目標會唔會亦都係你我嘅目標呢？
But in the Bible, let's see whether Paul's goal is the same goal as ours.
呢個亦都係保羅俾我哋今日讀呢段聖經嘅時候一個挑戰。
And this is the challenge that Paul throws at us when we are reading this passage today.
我哋會唔會好似保羅咁樣自以為是嘅呢？
So do you think you would be thinking what Paul used to think?
直到佢認識主之後，佢就以追求認識主為佢嘅人生唯一嘅方向。
Until when he came across Christ, and then he changed his course and make it his goal to know Christ more.
並且佢喺呢封信裏邊就話，唔係佢已經得到啦。
In this letter, he was not saying that he has already attained it.
佢唔係已經達標啦。
He's not already obtained the goal.
乃係佢仍然搏命去追求。
But that he is still working on it, working hard.
搏命嘅追求係即係連命都可以唔要嘅。
At the expense of his life, working hard.
嚟到去認識主耶穌。
So that he may know Christ more.
今日你係點樣認識主耶穌
So how about you? How do you know Christ?
你認識主耶穌啦未啊？
So how much you know about Christ?
認識到未
How much?
好似識咗啲，
Looks a lot.
係咪真係好熟咧？
Really that a lot?
你覺得你好熟嘅，我同耶穌好熟嘅。
Let me have your hand if you think you know him a lot.
有冇人咁講啊？
Would you say that yourself?
保羅都唔敢講，何況你我咧？
Well, Paul is not in such a position to say that he obtained it. So I would guess that you and me are not yet there.
而且你注意經文咧，12同13節係重複兩次，佢話我冇以為自己得到。
And you will notice from the verses 12 and 13 that it is mentioned twice that Paul said, I did not think I got it.
所以佢仲未攞到啊！
So it is still beyond him.
識咗一個仍然唔夠皮。
Okay, after one, and then he may be on the path to get more.
仲想識多啲。
He wants to know more.
唔單止係頭腦嘅知識，
It's not only your head knowledge,
更加係生命嘅去體驗。
but then it is a faith heart.
頭嗰兩章講得好清楚。
In the first two chapters, it's clearly said
佢係要認識主耶穌，
he needs to know Christ.
佢覺得係識到主咧係一個寶貝一樣，
He will think that it is like treasure to know Christ.
而且佢係唔滿足嘅。
And he is never satisfied in the path of knowing Christ.
大家談過戀愛未？
I guess you have been through the stage of dating and loving.
見咗一次面
Your first meeting,
，say bye bye，
and you said goodbye.
轉個頭咧，
When you turn around,
手機就響啦
and you have a message in your cell phone,
，FaceTime 就睇見啦。
and you will come to the FaceTime,
揸住個手機咧，仲係形影不離。
and you will never let down your cell phone.
我哋對主係咪咁樣認識咧？
Is it the same way you know Christ?
唔夠皮嘅，
Never satisfied.
要識多啲嘅，
You want to know more.
要深入啲嘅，
The more, the better.
去體會佢嘅。
To get to know what you want to know more.
第15節嗰個全這樣思想嘅意思，即係話一路係諗住主耶穌。
And in verse 5 is that we are always thinking that way.
如果我哋唔成熟咧，
If you are not mature enough,
神都會指示俾我哋。
never mind, because God will show you the way.
成熟嘅咧，繼續存着呢個思想。
If you are mature enough, just carry on.
咩思想？
What kind of thought?
就係要追求，竭力搏命去追求認識主耶穌。
And the thought pattern is that keep on pressing on to know Christ more.
我哋認識神嗰個嘅心，好多時候受到功利主義嘅影響。
And in our way of knowing Christ, we may be beset by all kinds of distraction.
我哋會受到一啲嘅利害關係影響我哋對神嘅關係。
We may be attacked by various distractions or benefits.
大家聽過米已成飯呢個字未啊？
Maybe you heard about this Chinese saying about from grain rice to cooked rice.
煮熟咗飯就食得啦，係嘛？
Cooked rice, of course, is ready for eating.
婚姻結合咗之後就點啊？
Marriage, after the wedding, and then
就米已成飯咯。
so this grain rice to become cooked rice.
我哋就冇諗到去付出，只係搏命咁食。
And we would not bother about giving, but then we just keep on eating.
基督嘅信仰係講付出，唔係去食。
And believing in Christ, it talks about giving. It's not taking.
你係要接受主耶穌。
Yes, you have to accept His way.
但係你要效法主耶穌去付出。
And you have to follow His example of giving.
結咗婚繼續去付出。
After the marriage, after the marriage vow, you still keep on giving.
生咗仔唔係抌低。
When you become a parent, it's not just leave them alone.
你會點啊？
What will you do?
你會付出你嘅愛。
And you to give by loving.
我哋嘅神點咧
What about our God?
佢每日都付出。
He gives every day.
佢俾太陽，
He gives you the sun.
俾月亮，
He gives you the moon.
俾你賺錢嘅雙手，
And the ability to make money.
俾氣力唞，
And He gives you the air.
俾覺你瞓。
And so that you may have good rest and peace.
邊位瞓唔着嘅最近？舉手我睇下。
Anyone who cannot sleep, cannot sleep well,
奉主嘅名，讓你瞓得着。
may the Lord bless you with good rest.
不過唔係而家，
Oh, not here, not now.
留心聽，
Oh, listen carefully.
因為神要將祝福俾你，
Because God listens to our prayers and will be blessing you.
用佢嘅話咧提醒你。
And let His words be a good reminder to you.
神嘅話就係一個指標，
And God's words is an indication.
神會指示你點樣去追求認識主耶穌。
Indication of God, how to know Christ more.
唔係淨係初決志信主行出嚟受浸加入教會咁簡單就夠啦。
It's not as simple as the moment that you step forward and declare, I accept Christ. Not only that,
就唔係好似結咗婚就等太太煮飯，你就乜都唔使做。
it's not after the marriage vow that you sit back and wait for the meals to be cooked and to be fed.
或者生咗個仔等佢自己大。
Or becoming a parent and then let the child grow.
人與人之間嘅關係尚且如此，
So this is what happens to people, to things between people.
何況係同神嘅關係。
It is more when it comes to a relationship between you and God.
我哋常常以為做一啲嘢就可以賺得到你。
And we always think that we will just do something and then we will be rewarded.
哎呀，咁辛苦賺咗錢，為咗嚟養呢頭家嘅啫，而家食碗飯都要咁唔舒服。
And you will think that, oh, I work so hard to make a living, so why I have to labor so much to have this meal?
生咗你咁養大你幾十年，而家叫你俾少少利是都唔俾我。
And after raising you to be a teenager, now you have trouble serving me.
哎，你賺咗少少錢，而家俾少少甜頭我哋都唔俾。
And now that you are making money, so you would not even bother to give it back to your parent.
我哋係憑着信心嚟去處理我哋嘅關係。
And we are by faith to have the relationship with God.
結咗婚都係要付出嘅。
After the wedding vow, still you have to keep on giving.
生咗仔嘅仍然係要付出嘅。
After being a parent, still you have to give.
呢個係一個愛嘅動力。
It is the drive, the loving drive.
憑着信心嚟去進行。
Through faith, you carry it out.
培養呢種愛嘅關係。
And you work hard to develop this loving relationship.
但係往往我哋對神嗰種嘅關係咧，就係時時本末倒置。
But then when it comes to the relationship with God, things are topsy-turvy.
所以變成一種嘅競賽一樣。
So it would like becoming a race.
係一種遊戲嘅玩法。
It talks about the rules of the game.
我哋時時好似玩遊戲一樣玩嚟玩去。
So we'll take it as a game.
保羅喺呢處就提醒我哋。
Here, Paul reminds us.
你越多認識耶穌。
The more you know Christ,
你發覺呢個義公義唔係賺翻嚟。
And you will realize that this righteousness is not through work.
係要憑出信心去得到嘅。
Rather, it is through faith.
而神係好樂意嘅賞賜俾我哋。
And God will gladly let you have this righteousness.
過去嘅聖經嘅人物。
In past biblical figures,
包括保羅在
including Paul,
我哋睇見神點樣去祝福呢一班好似自以為不配嘅人，能夠領受呢個救恩。
And you will see how God bless these people.
今日你我亦都需要同樣嘅救恩呢個關係。
Today, you and me also need this relationship of salvation.
記住，神係好錫我哋。
Remember, God loves us deeply.
佢係將一切嘅好處都要賞賜俾我哋。
He gives us all the goodness.
因為佢從我哋喺母胎嘅時候，神已經愛我哋。
He blessed us while we were in our mother's wombs.
我哋任何嘅動作對佢嚟講都係神所顧念嘅。
And He watched over us every act that we do.
所以保羅喺聖經呢度，佢曾經用過穿上全副軍裝嘅軍人。
And Paul used some examples like a soldier putting on armors.
嚟到去經驗神嗰種得勝嘅能力。
And so that he may experience the victorious aspect.
佢以一種工程師設計建立聖殿一樣嗰種嘅心情去體會主耶穌。
And he will view Christ from the perspective of an engineer in building a temple,
或者建築師
or an architect.
或者咧，好似農夫去耕耘、去撒種，然之後領受嗰種收穫嗰種嘅喜悅。
Or from the perspective of being a farmer, doing all the sowing, planting, and harvesting.
喺呢處，保羅用呢個競賽、參加賽跑呢一種嘅遊戲規則嚟到去認識主耶穌。
Here, Paul used the example of being an athlete.
所以我哋睇見呢個目標係唔係佢要定嘅，而係主耶穌早已經喺創世以嚟要擺喺佢嘅生命裏面。
And here we see that the goal is not being set by him, but rather it is set by God at the creation.
佢願意成為保羅嘅教練。
And God is willing to be his coach.
保羅按照教練嘅吩咐嚟去經驗呢個賽跑嗰種嘅喜悅。
And Paul follows the rules set by God to take part in the race.
好讓喺呢個嘅遊戲裏邊嚟到享受佢同教練之間嗰種嘅默契、嗰種嘅經驗、嗰種嘅喜樂。
So that through this experience that he may know the coach better.
唔係佢要攞嚟比較隔離嘅對手點樣去競爭。
And it is not his purpose to compare himself with competitors.
特別如果你參加過馬拉松比賽嘅時候
，especially when you try to take part in a marathon race，
你唔會揾一個肯亞嘅金牌馬拉松嘅冠軍嚟到去同佢比賽。
Of course, you would not compete yourself with a gold medalist in the Kenyan athlete.
你係聽從教練按住你嘅體質嚟到去完成呢一個嘅賽事。
But then you will listen to your own coach, who would know about your ability and talents.
所以我哋就只係單單去聽教練嘅吩咐，去練習我哋嘅跑步。
So you will practice and train yourself according to instructions by your own coach.
有可能一開始係5公里嘅競賽。
For the marathon race, maybe you will start training with 5 kilometers.
練過1年半載，你可能嘗試半馬。
After a while, maybe you will try the half marathon.
到過幾年，你嘅身體嘅狀況教練覺得你可以試下全馬啦，咁你先至開始去跑呢個馬拉松。
After several years of training, then your coach may be there to tell you you are ready to participate in the full marathon.
每一個參賽者都係要奪標走到去終點。
And every participant has a goal to complete the whole marathon.
但每個人都唔一樣。
But then each person is different.
高矮肥瘦都可以參加。
Different statures.
男女老幼都可以參加。
Both sexes.
挑戰嘅唔係淨係呢場賽事。
The challenge is not this race.
往往係挑戰自己究竟能唔能夠完成呢個賽事。
The challenge is that whether you can complete this race.
所以每一個運動員都有自己嗰種嘅目標。
So each athlete would have his or her own goal.
我講咁多，呢個同教會同你我今日坐喺呢度有咩關係呢？
So how will it relate to you and me?
你同我唔一樣。
You and me are different.
我哋教會大家坐埋一齊。
When we sit together in the church,
真正嘅目的係咩呢？
what is our goal?
就係要認識神。
Is to know God.
呢個係我哋至終嘅一個嘅方向。
So this is our common goal.
但係每一個人認識神嘅程度唔一樣。
But then our pace of knowing God is different.
主耶穌認識我哋。
Jesus Christ knows us.
我哋認識主耶穌嘅程度究竟有幾深？
How deeply and at what level do we know Christ?
我哋就要向主嚟到去求取佢嘅指引。
And here we need His counseling and direction.
搞清楚我哋要走嘅方向。
Make sure what is our path.
所以如果教會叫大家一齊睇活潑生命。
So when you are asked to look at the magazine, The Living Life,
大家唔需要都要買呢個活潑生命。
and you have to get a copy.
因為最終嘅目的係要求希望大家都可以睇聖經。
Because the final goal is that everyone will be able to read the Bible.
而且係每一日讀神嘅話。
And read it daily.
要唔要用活潑生命係你個人同神之間嗰種嘅感動。
Whether you will be doing it through the living life is up to you.
但係教會嘅大方向，大家一齊嚟去睇神嘅話。
But our common goal is that to know God.
而我哋嗰個目標清楚向前嘅時候，我哋就唔會隨便去被分身。
So when we have a clear direction, then we may not be easily distracted.
保羅喺度話努力向前，嚟到向着標杆直跑。
Paul here says that straining towards what is ahead.
注意經文裏邊前邊講咩？13節嗰度。
And in verse 13, let's take a quick look.
佢話忘記背後。
It says forgetting what is behind.
我冇乜記性嘅，其實冇乜記性。
I have a weak memory.
時不時咧，真係好熟口面喎。
Oh yes, you look familiar. Oh, and your name?
好似姓余乜咧？記得。
Maybe you are Thomas. Maybe.
我哋好多時都會忘記。
Sometimes we are forgetful.
應該記得嘅唔記得。
And we often forget what should be remembered.
唔應該記住嘅死記。
And what should be forgotten, we keep it deep in our mind.
結果我哋人生就寸步難行。
And that is a big hurdle to our life.
冇錯，我哋有好多嘢係唔會放得低。
Yes, that is quite a lot of things that we need to forget.
保羅唔係叫我哋乜嘢都唔好記得。
Paul is not asking you to forget everything, no.
佢所謂忘記背後係咩意思呢？
So what does he mean by forgetting what is behind?
就係從過去嘅成敗得失去記取教訓，唔好留戀嗰種嘅成敗得失。
That is, don't be harassed by your past success or failure. Don't let its negativity or positivity affect you.
好讓你能夠專心向前跑。
So that you can focus yourself on what is ahead.
信主跟唔信主嘅差別，亦都喺呢度。
So there is a difference between accepting or not accepting Christ.
好多人唔能夠接受主耶穌。
Quite a lot of people cannot accept Christ.
往往就係放唔低以前嘅嘢。
Because they have a baggage of the past.
所以我哋冇辦法接受新嘅挑戰。
And since that is the situation, you will not be ready to accept what is new.
尤其是人與人嘅關係。
Especially in the personal relationship.
將福音介紹俾人嘅關係。
So when the gospel is introduced to others.
哎呀，我唔識講嘢㗎。
Oh, I am not an eloquent speaker.
唔識做人嘅。
I don't know how to deal with people.
我能夠今日唞得起，能夠唞得到氣，已經係唔錯㗎啦。
Now that I can breathe freely is already a blessing.
我哋因為過去有好多成敗得失，仍然係牽絆咗。
And we are harassed by our past success and failures.
唉，我老啦。
I'm getting old.
嗰個80歲跑到馬拉松係佢嘅事，唔關我事。
Yes, that guy, that 80-year-old guy that completes a marathon. Yes, good guy, but nothing to do with me.
你叫我行我都唔想行。
I may be able to walk.
我哋最好嘅例子就係約瑟。
And let's look at a good example in Joseph.
佢雖然俾兄弟出賣
he was betrayed and sold by his brothers.
但係佢唔讓呢種仇恨嚟到牽絆佢哋兄弟之情。
But he would not allow this past hurt to harass him.
因為佢願意定睛嘅向前。
Because he has to focus what is ahead of him.
睇見佢全家能夠得着拯救。
And will be there to make sure his whole family is being saved.
所以兄弟見翻面，佢終於都係靠住神俾佢嘅能力，讓佢哋能夠兄弟相認。
So through God, he was able to receive and forgive all his brothers and be reunited.
所以你我嘅人生雖然唔同嘅目標。
Yes, you and me may have different goals.
我哋向嗰啲福音朋友傳福音嗰個標的物或者嗰個對象可能唔一樣。
We may have different prospects.
但係唔好讓過去嘅成敗得失影響我哋去將福音傳俾我哋嘅朋友。
But don't let your past failure or success in the way to spread the gospel to others.
係神喺你我身上有唔同嘅一個嘅方向。
God has set different goals for you and me.
而係向着前邊。
And He asks us to look at the future.
向着未來呢個前邊嚟到跑。
And the goal in the future in the race.
我哋嘅責任係咩嘢咧
So what is our job?
唔單止定睛向前。
Not only focusing on the future.
我哋有一個心志就係要去達標。
And we have this goal of determination.
好似保羅一樣，一定要達到呢個目的。
Just like Paul, we have to obtain this goal.
咩目的啊
What kind of goal?
咩 direction 咩目標啊
And what kind of direction?
有筆你可以寫低，唔好忘記。
So if you have a pen, please jot it down.
好多時候我哋會忘記，
Well, a lot of times we will forget.
就係認識我哋嘅主。
That is to know our Christ Savior.
認識個主又係有好多範嘅喎。
And there are a lot of aspects to knowing Christ.
每日靈修啦，
Such as your daily devotion.
參加教會活動啦，
And taking part in church activities.
傳福音啦，
And even evangelizing.
係咪咁簡單？
Is that all?
有啲人係就只能做咁多。
For some, yes, that is it.
但係你讀前嗰兩章，
But when you read the past 2 chapters,
保羅唔係淨係咁樣，
this is not what Paul did.
佢要經歷好似基督一樣去吃苦，
And he wants to experience the suffering of Christ
去孭呢個十字架，
and bear his cross.
孭一個同佢自己嘅意志相違背嘅呢一種嘅重擔。
And to bear a burden that is not what he wants.
願意承擔主俾佢嘅託付。
But then he is willing to take up the job given to him by God.
以致能夠經歷呢個復活嘅大能，
So that he may be experiencing resurrection.
所以我哋要有呢個達標嘅心志，
So we have to have this determination.
好似嗰啲狩獵者去獲取呢個獵物一樣。
Just like a hunter following closely his prey.
讓我哋喺神嘅裏邊都係有呢一個嘅目標。
Maybe all have this determination.
神要你達到咩嘅目標？
And in God, let's see what God has set your goal.
今日幾多號啊？
Today is
9月1號咯。
September 1st.
1月1號你立咗咩目標啊？
What kind of resolution you set up for yourself on January 1st?
你話要讀晒成本聖經一次，一年之內讀晒成本聖經。
Maybe making sure you will complete reading the whole Bible within a year.
8個月過去啦，
8 months pass.
你係淨係讀咗創世記第1章。
And how far have you done? The book of Genesis?
你點睇自己？
And how do you take this job?
係你同神之間嘅關係。
It is a relationship between you and God.
係啊，我要帶12個人信耶穌，每個月一個。
You will say, I will lead 12 people to Christ.
9月1號啦，
Now, September 1st,
半個都冇，咁啊，
and how much you have fulfilled your target.
我哋點睇咧？
So how would you look at it?
神點睇我咧？
And how would God look at it?
攞起呢個聖餐杯餅嘅時候，
When you are having the Lord's Supper,
我哋要重新喺神嘅面前，
let's reflect.
好好嘅達標嗰種心志，再一次調整過嚟。
Let us review our determination to attain the goal.
成敗得失唔係靠睇幾本書，
Failure, success is not depending on reading a couple of books
聽下牧師講嚟幾句，
or listening to sermons
睇下啲 YouTube 點樣去示範，
or looking at demonstration videos,
而係你要親身去參加比賽，
but that it is you need to be in the game.
去操練每日嘅信心，
You have to have faith exercises daily
讓聖靈嚟到幫助你，
and let the Spirit help you
信服聖靈嘅帶領，
and follow the Spirit's leadership.
讓你剩低嗰4個月
So for the rest of the year,
能夠達標，
obtain your goal
能夠完成神喺你生命上面所要完成嘅使命。
and complete what has been given to you by God.
最後我哋要睇下點樣超標。
And lastly, let's look at how do we exceed our goal.
大家聽過咩叫三高啊？
You may have heard about three health challenges.
邊三高啊？
And the challenges are
血壓高啊，
high blood pressure,
血糖高啊，
high blood sugar,
膽固醇高啊，
high cholesterol,
仲有啲咩高啊？
and what else?
好似冇講，
Maybe that's about it.
遲下又有。
Well, we know. Who knows?
超標嘅話係咩意思啊？
So when you exceed the goal, and it means
過晒龍啊！
more than enough.
唉，又血壓高，
So high blood pressure,
血糖又高，
high blood sugar,
壞嘅膽固醇又高。
and bad cholesterol.
記住嚇，好嘅膽固醇要高啊！
Oh, but then let's be reminded that we have to work on higher, good cholesterol.
所以超標嘅意思，
So exceeding your goal means
你一定要按照醫生嘅分。
that is to follow your doctor's advice.
你參加比賽要按照比賽嘅規則。
When you take part in a game, you have to obey the rules.
馬拉松叫你咁樣走嘅，
And according to the marathon rules, you will run that way,
你就咁樣走。
and you take the other way.
咁結果點啊？
And so what will happen?
點啊？
And the result is
就唔受你玩咯。
you are disqualified.
然後有一樣嘢咧，我哋讀呢段聖經咧，就覺得哎呀呢啲好似唔係同我講過。
So when you are reading the Bible, sometimes you will say that, oh, it has nothing to do with me.
原來咧，古代希羅文化裏面舉行呢啲馬拉松比賽咧，佢有一個規則好緊要。
But then you would come to know that in the old Greek days, when they have these races, that there is a rule.
你一定要係羅馬公民先至可以參賽。
You have to be
羅馬公民，公
a
民。
Roman citizen before you can participate.
你如果唔係公民咧，對唔住，你唔能夠參加比賽。
No citizenship, no participation.
今日呢一段説話係對我哋所有基督徒。
And this is what is being said to all of us. All of us.
你係神國嘅公民，
You are a citizen in God's kingdom.
你都可以參加呢個比賽，
So you can take part in this race.
但係你要按照規則嚟到參賽。
But then you have to obey and follow the rules to participate.
你一犯規就下次再嚟啦。
When you foul, make a false move, then you are disqualified.
所以保羅話你要按量力而為啊，最嬲呢個。
So that's why that is what Paul means by doing according to your ability.
你要計下條數啱唔啱你玩。
Look at yourself whether you can follow the rules.
今日你同神嘅關係係點玩？
So how is the relationship between you and God, and what are His rules?
如果你仲未信耶穌，
If you are not yet a believer,
你唔需要玩。
you don't have to participate.
但係如果你信耶穌，
But then if you are a believer,
你要加入呢個教會。
You want to join a church?
你先能夠參加呢一場嘅賽事。
You have to join a church before you can participate in the race.
今日我哋喺神嘅家裏邊，
When we are in God's family,
一路話要傳福音，傳福音。
yes, we keep on saying that we'll spread the word, spread the word.
但我哋要好好去諗，
But then think carefully.
我哋同神嘅關係
Think first. What is the relationship between you and God?
係點樣嘅關係？
And what kind of relationship is it?
我求主幫助我哋
May the Lord help us.
接受佢做我哋嘅教練。
Accept Him as our coach.
喺呢個最後呢4個月裏，
And in the remaining of the year,
主耶穌要你做，
and may the Lord be with us.
讓我哋一齊從一個超標嘅
And let us exceed our goals
係好嘅標，
and be the good goal,
係神所命定嘅標。
a goal that is set by God.
同心低頭，
Let's bow our head and pray.
父神多謝你哋，多謝你俾我哋呢個嘅教訓，
Heavenly Father, thank you for this good lesson.
讓我哋學習點樣嚟到按照你嘅心意嚟到達成目標。
So that we will know, according to your rule, to obtain the goal.
讓我哋喺教會裏邊好似一家人一樣，
And may you help us in this church, like a family,
一齊去參加呢個馬拉松，
and join together to take part in this marathon race.
唔好讓成敗得失阻礙我哋。
And do not let the past success or failure to harass us.
卻讓我哋能夠彼此同心嚟到奔走神要俾我哋嘅走嘅天。
Help us to join together and bond together and to take the race before us.
奉耶穌基督嘅名求。
In Jesus' name we pray.